Jaguar. Jaguar.
For the evidence, brother.
You go, boy. You give me some evidence. You give me some evidence that says that Jesus wasn't crucified.
Brother, the story bro. Is why I don't believe in the crucifixion.
Why? Tell me why.
Because there is absolutely no Roman historian evidence. Absolutely none. Please, if you found some, please show it to us.
I'm going to tell you that you're flat out wrong because you haven't read Tacitus, right? And he was a Roman historian writing around 116 AD. And he explicitly mentions Jesus' execution under Pontius Pilate during the reign of Tiberius. That is in Annals 15.44.
Roman historians are. Oh my God.
What? Tacitus was a Roman senator with access to official records. He had far more credibility than Muhammad, who wrote the Quran 600 years after the event in a different language and with zero access to Jerusalem or Roman archives. And you know what's even funnier? Is that your hadiths for your supposed holy book were written centuries after Muhammad died. So I guess none of the hadiths have any authority to talk about Muhammad then, do they? Do they? That's what I thought. Jaguar, you there? I know you're there. You're not showing your picture. What's going on, brother? Lowest ranking Muslim going once. This actually works out anyway because I have to get up and go in a few.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on?
Hey, assalamu alaikum.
What's up, bro? How you been, man?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Why is he always yelling? Like
he's just loud. His mic is loud, bro. His mic is loud. All right. Jaguar.
For the evidence, brother.
You go, boy. You give me some evidence. You give me some evidence that says that Jesus wasn't crucified.
Brother. The story bro. Is why I don't believe in the crucifixion.
Why? Tell me why.
Because there is absolutely no Roman historian evidence. Absolutely none. Please, if you found some, please show it to us.
So I don't know if you've been watching the stream, but I've been giving you countless instances of evidence, and you're saying that there's no evidence for the
Roman evidence.
Okay,
Roman historian.
Yes, that is
that we should be.
Okay. Do you want the answer? Instead of saying there isn't something and you're wrong, I'm going to tell you that you're flat out wrong because you haven't read Tacitus, right? And he was a Roman historian writing around 116 AD, and he explicitly mentions Jesus' execution under Pontius Pilate during the reign of Tiberius. That is in Annals 15.44.
Roman historians are. Oh my God.
What?
Tacitus was a Roman historian.
Yes,
and
he was.
Wrote about the crucifixion under Pontius Pilate.
Yes.
Pull it up.
It's on the damn document that's in your face. It's been here the whole stream.
That's the document that you made up, of course. Bro, you lied about Ibn Hibas. I had to research the three guys you talked about on Wednesday.
Okay.
And you totally misinterpreted what they said, and I sent it to you in the chat.
Uh-huh.
So, no, I'm not going to look at your PDF file that you just created.
Okay. All right. This guy is so... He is so... This is the guy who said that John of Patmos was a different John. than the one who wrote the book of John.
File. I showed you on my PDF file.
Okay, let me ask you this question, lowest ranking. Show me a document that says Tacitus was not a Roman historian. That's what I'd like to see.
I'll do that, inshallah.
Inshallah.
But you guys claim that you guys have Roman. I didn't say I had Roman. I didn't say nothing. You guys said you guys have it. So that's what I'm here for. You guys are the ones with the evidence.
Hey, bro, you got it.
Okay, brother, here. I am going to, I'm bringing it up. Bro, Jaguar, shut up long enough to get what you're asking for. Jesus Christ, dude. You are so insufferable at times. This is why I didn't want to let you on. Close your mouth and listen, and maybe you'll learn something for once, okay? Now, I'm going to share the screen with you because you're claiming, again, just like many Muslims, that you know something that you don't know. I'm going to make the screen really big for you, okay? Roman historian and politician Publius Cornelius Tacitus wrote about Jesus' crucifixion in his work Annals Book 15, Chapter 44, which was written around AD 116. In this passage,
116.
Tacitus mentions Christ suffered from penalty.
That's not in the life of the
Oh
Messiah.
my God. So wait a second.
That's
So
not
first,
history.
so you okay?
Thank you. Point proven.
He doesn't know what a historian is.
He does no. He clearly
Historians
doesn't.
write after the fact.
You are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?
Jaguar, Muhammad didn't live within the lifetime of Jesus. Why do you trust him?
About Muhammad right now. Let's talk about.
But I'm asking you.
Because you're a coward.
Otherwise, you're applying double standards.
Right.
Jaguar, otherwise, you're applying double standards.
Right.
So please reply to me. If you don't trust Tacitus, Jaguar, if you won't trust Tacitus, how can you possibly trust Muhammad when Muhammad lived centuries after Jesus?
Because he has Sahabis that were there in his lifetime, okay? That wrote about it in his lifetime. So, silly.
Why do you trust Muhammad? That's my question. Why would we trust a word that Muhammad says?
Well, he's
That is
asking
my question.
Jaguar. The question that he's asking you, Jaguar.
4 generations.
He's asking you if you're saying that what Tacitus wrote about the crucifixion is not legitimate, then how the hell can we listen to Muhammad, who came several centuries after the crucifixion?
So let's focus on what we're talking about right here, the Roman evidence, okay?
I gave you the Roman evidence. The thing is, you're dismissing. Okay, so you're dismissing Tacitus among countless others. Jaguar.
116 years
Jaguar.
later, right?
Jaguar.
Jaguar,
First of all,
do not apply double standards, because if you won't trust Tacitus because he lived in 116 AD, then
I told you guys Roman evidence. So let's focus on the Roman evidence you guys are presenting.
This is Roman evidence, you fool.
Jaguar, I don't think that you understand what double standards means. If you're going to say we cannot trust Tacitus because he lived in 116 AD, then how can you possibly trust Muhammad when he lived in 607 AD?
This is why. Hang on. So I'm gonna say something to you, Jaguar, and then I'm gonna let Grafton say what he has to say, because the thing is, you come into conversations and you ask for things, and then when you get them, you think that you have the authority to dismiss them because you have no idea how things like history work, right? And you're dismissing Tacitus because he wrote about 80 years after the crucifixion, right? Okay, so by that logic, you have to throw out every single ancient event written down after the fact, including almost everything about people like Julius Caesar or Alexander the Great or literally any Roman Empire. And what's even worse is that if you actually applied that standard, you wouldn't have any history left at all. Plus, Tacitus was a Roman senator with access to official records. He had far more credibility than Muhammad, who wrote the Quran 600 years after the event in a different language and with zero access to Jerusalem or Roman archives. And you know what's even funnier is that your hadiths for your supposed holy book were written centuries after Muhammad died. So I guess none of the hadiths have any authority to talk about Muhammad then, do they? Do they? That's what I thought. What?
Mother Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her.
The hadiths came centuries.
Wasn't that his wife?
Centuries. Yeah, and they were written centuries later. Yeah, we do love to bring it up because he married a 6-year-old girl.
It was his wife. His own wife. His own wife wrote them. The one you guys all bring up, he's the one that wrote them.
Oh, yeah?
His own wife, and this wife of his wrote about Muhammad saying, I can't help but notice that, Muhammad, that your God gives you a revelation in everything that you desire.
Jaguar,
you get a revelation. You get a revelation.
Jaguar, I want you to understand.
You get a revelation.
If you do a simple... Hold on. Jaguar, stop. Because you're talking, again, without knowing. You are, again... You're setting a standard for Tacitus that you won't set for your own hadiths, and you're claiming that the hadiths were not written centuries after the Quran, and I'm going to set you straight again for the millionth time on this channel. The Quran was compiled in the 7th century. The earliest major hadith collections like Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim were not even written down until the 9th century, over 200 years after Muhammad's death. You can look that up for yourselves. Even Muslim scholars admit this, you fool. And of course he's gone. And then he'll claim later on that I kicked him, even though my hand didn't move. But I will make it clear, ladies and gentlemen, that you don't get to dismiss people like Josephus and Tacitus and say, oh, so it came 80 years later, when the earliest hadiths were written 2 full centuries after Muhammad died. How stupid.
Oh, and brother, when Muhammad died, the Quran wasn't even compiled at that point. It was compiled sometime later, and then there was a point where people recited the Quran in so many different ways that Caliph Uthman had to gather up all the manuscripts and burn them. And there are actually even hadiths which state that Uthman's Quran is different from the other Qurans that existed before he burned them. For example, Aisha, she cites a passage in the Quran that existed before Uthman had authority over all the manuscripts. She cites a passage, and then she says, that is what the Quran used to say before Uthman changed the Quranic copies.
Yeah.
Another thing is, after Muhammad's death, Ubay ibn Ka'b, he was one of the best 4 teachers and the best recitator of the Quran, or the other way around. Mm-hmm. And he approaches a person and he asks the person, how many verses does the chapter, I think it's the chapter of the parties, how many verses does the chapter of the parties have? To which he gets an answer, 72 or 73, right. To which he responds with, it used to be equal, I think that according to Ubay, it's missing like 157 verses.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there was later on there was surahs that were added. Some had 112, others had 114. It was a mess. And again, they'll use circular reasoning to try to justify these things, but then they will have the balls to sit on this channel and try to talk to you about the Comment Johannium or about the ending of Mark that was only found in the Latin manuscripts and not the Koine Greek ones, and therefore to them that's corruption. But we're not the ones that had sheep eating our manuscripts, ladies and gentlemen. We're not the ones that had our manuscripts thrown all over with sheep eating them, and Caliph Uthman burning other competing ones, and other caliphs getting upset because they didn't agree with the canonization of the Quran as he did it. It's absolutely insane. At least we got people to call in.
What about the satanic verses?
Oh God, don't even get me started on that.
The satanic verses?
That is actually probably going to be what we talk about on Monday, ladies and gents, because I have a long weekend ahead of me. But you know what, guys? I love you both so much. I thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Expect to star in 2 clips from today, because man, Costa and Lowest Ranking Muslim really did put themselves in a position today to get put on YouTube, baby. As a matter of fact, Go ahead, Grafton, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's crazy how he thought that going to a zero-sum game would disprove Jesus' crucifixion in any way, shape, or form. Bro just said, let's take evidence itself off the table, and let's just argue from what we grant, but somehow what I grant is better than what you grant, and it's like that doesn't work in any setting ever.
But now flip the script. Imagine if the Quran was saying Jesus was not crucified, and there was countless instances of evidence, including the Quran and hostile attestations that said he wasn't, and Christians were just claiming that he was crucified anyway. Oh my gosh, Costa would be sitting there with an embarrassment of riches for evidence, right? And sit there and wouldn't be able to throw it in our face fast enough. But when it disagrees with the Quran, they don't want to acknowledge it because they know that it is devastating to their case. This is your Mind on Islam, ladies and gentlemen.